Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Lansdowne Roar Live. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast, and we are live and we're here to talk about John O'Shea's squad. And I've just got a couple of foxes outside the window, so apologies if you hear that. I am in London. It's part of the landscape. But anyway, before we get into all of that, not the foxes, just remind you to hit that subscribe button, scan that QR code, and head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter pages. Martin, how are you doing? You're in a very football-related place, although not in Ireland. I didn't actually notice till you told me, but do you want to share where you are at the moment?
I'm undercover at the moment, Dave. Great to be on the show as usual, of course. Yeah, I'm undercover. I'm up in Watford. I'm at the Grove Hotel this evening. A bit of a celebration within the family. Not celebrating cousin Will's fantastic achievement, getting to promotion to the Premier League. But no, I'm at the Grove in Watford, and yeah, it's brilliant setup here. I mean, I've been here before as well, but yeah, it's a football escapes thing that goes on. It's a big company owned by probably some more of some of the West Ham lads. We had Ferdinand's involved in it some way. So yeah, I've been having a chat with Michael Dawson today. Didn't get a lot
Name
of
drop.
sitting there.
Uh,
Yeah, picked that up the floor. But yeah, no, lovely setup. I mean, the pitches here, there are pitches that they sometimes knock around in, but I mean, it's close proximity to Arsenal's London Colney. So yeah, it's pretty decent setup.
There we go. I just want to apologise for Martin's sound quality. He's not up to his usual high quality, but he is away with the missus.
Yeah.
you, you took,
And
you
obviously, I
took her
wanted to be on
to
the show.
you took her up to a football camp for her birthday. Did you ever see that episode?
No, quality. It is a quality setup, like Jesus. Amazing.
Did you ever see that episode of Simpsons where Homer buys Marge a bowling ball for her birthday and he gets the name Homer on it?
It's part of the many of the celebratory gifts we've done for a birthday. So yeah,
Okay.
all good.
Well, anyway, we're going to crack on with this. But as always, we are Irish football's most interactive podcast. So have your say, leave a comment, and get involved. I see the first comment coming in there. We will get to those. Going to have a little chat. We're going to talk through the squad. We're going to talk about what we think of it. Then we're going to say what John O'Shea thinks of it, or talk about what he thinks of it, and go through some of his comments. And then we're going to get to what you think of it. And I want to hear from you. So today is really the start of the international window. Of course, we play Hungary next Tuesday, is it? Yes, Tuesday on the 4th of June. And then the following week, we play Portugal in Aveiro. That's on the 11th of June. Of course, we are going to both. Well, I'm going to both of those, and we will be live. We will have all the pre-match stuff. We're going to have all the comments. We're going to have all the abuse. I'm sure it's going to be coming my way. And all of that. So I really can't wait. So don't forget, have your say, leave a comment, and get involved. Actually, Martin, very, very quickly, you were right about a few things, weren't you? You were right about United winning the cup. We won't get into it. You were right about cousin Will celebrating, and he did fantastically well in the playoff. And you also said about Vincent Kompany getting a top job after his time at Burnley. Who knew that getting relegation would get you a job with one of the biggest clubs in European football? But there you go. Well done. Right, let's get into the squad. It was announced today at around 3 p.m. So in goal, you've got Caoimhín Gallagher, Mark Travers, Max O'Leary, David Harrington. In defence, you've got Seamus Coleman, Matt Doherty, Shane Duffy, Darragh O'Shea, Jake O'Brien, Andrew Amabamadeli, Liam Scales, Robbie Brady comes back in, and Enda Stevens also comes back in. In midfield, you got Josh Cullen, Finn Azaz, Jason Knight, Jamie McCrath, Callum O'Dowda, cousin Will, Mark Sykes, and Mikey Johnston. After a fantastic loan spell at West Brom, he goes back to Celtic. Forward, you got Sammy Smollett. He returns. Fantastic season for him. Adam Ida, fresh from his Celtic double triumph, scoring the goal that got them the cup. Brilliant stuff. Troy Party had a pretty good season in the Eredivisie. He got a 31-minute hat trick for Excelsior last weekend, and you got Michael Obafemi. Glad to see him back in, and you have hopefully debutant, Mr. Tom Cannon, who is now with Leicester, and he will be back in the Premier League. Some noticeable absentees here. Just going to go through that. You've got You've got no Evan Ferguson, no Nathan Collins, Gavin Bazunu, John Egan, Festi Abasella, Ryan Manning is out. We'll touch more on that later on. No Chidozie Ogbeni, no Alan Brown, no Jason Malumbi, and no Casey McAteer. Yet again, we'll touch on that. And actually, no James McLean, who thinks we're all fannies. But anyway, and then some noticeable inclusions is Shane Duffy's back. We'll talk more on that. Robbie Brady, who had a okay season, I suppose, for Preston. He's back in the squad. He played 32 times for Preston last season. And Ennis Stevens returns. He played 21 times last season for Stoke, but he missed a huge chunk due to a calf injury between December and March. So, Martin, I'm going to get into it. And actually, before I ask you, I'm going to remind our wonderful Raw Faithful, have your say, leave a comment, get involved. And around a half an hour mark, hopefully before that, we're going to get to your comments and we're going to get through all of them. So keep them classy as best you can. So, Martin, you were right about a lot of things, Man United and all that stuff. But I was right about something as well, wasn't I? Because I said to you that John O'Shea was going to pick a lovely, safe squad, a nice maintenance squad. And there you go. That's what he's done.
Yeah, he has. But I think also at the same time, it's the end of the season. A lot of these lads have had a long domestic season now. And, he's going with tried and tested there. He knows what he's going to get from them lads. I don't think it's groundbreaking at all, is it? And I think he knows what he's going to get these 2 games. A lot of the lads probably don't want to travel as well. A lot of the boys aren't the future of our squad, our team. And I think he is just confident that he will get results with them because he doesn't have to do an awful lot of work with them on some of the kind of ideas he's probably trying to get across to them. So I think it's not exactly brave. It's not groundbreaking, as I said. But I think the inclusion of Tom Cannon's an interesting one, which I'll come on to. I've got a theory on that. Even some of the Southampton lads being involved in it is kind of interesting because Cousin Will, I've said as well, off camera, didn't I, Dave? I'm not surprised he's there in the going quiet for the family. He comes from good stock. We will turn up for our country, Dave.
Oh yeah. Well, I must admit, I'm not disappointed by the squad. I actually think John O'Shea couldn't do much yet again. He is the interim manager. He said before the last squad that he announced in March, he did say that, look, if I was given the job full time, we'll talk more about that. I'd pick a completely different squad, but I'm not. So he has to keep it safe. He has to keep it warm, and that's what he's done. And that's why he's brought in my opinion, the likes of, nothing against Seamus Coleman. He's brought him in there. Doherty, Duffy, which I do have a bit of an issue with, actually. Robbie Brady and Enda Stevens. For me, obviously, Shane Duffy's been in the news for all the wrong reasons. He was found to be 3 times over the legal alcohol limit, cut, drink, driving, basically 3 times over the legal limit. Didn't even get suspended by Norwich and actually played in their playoff, which they lost. Was it 4-0 to Leeds a couple of days later, and he's back in the squad. Personally, I wouldn't have him in there. But I do understand that John O'Shea, he is hamstrung by the squad here. Very happy to see Tom Cannon in as well, Martin. He came under a lot of stick, didn't he? Thought he was going to do another Declan Rice. And, well, he's in the squad. He's going to be a Premier League player next season as well with Leicester.
Yeah, good to see because we know he's a player of massive potential. And we're all disappointed, to be honest, when he did kind of start kind of wobbling a little bit. And I still, though, would like to make sure that we do kind of get him involved in it. And I'd like to kind of have some reassurance from him. I want to see him in a press conference about now, basically saying that, yeah, like my heart is with Ireland, and I'm not going to let you down. I want to play for us because I'm a little bit cynical with it. It worried me a little bit, even with John O'Shea. I know you're going to come on and talk about the comments he made today in the press conference, but he's saying that he spoke to the agent, spoke to Tom Cannon in March for that window when it kind of wasn't right. Now he's called him up, spoke to his family, wants him on board. He seems very keen, but the cynic in me is thinking Tom Cannon's now a Premier League player contractually. He can say I'm an international now if he gets the cap. It's not going to matter. It's not going to tie him down. because it's not a competitive match. A lot of people even still speculating about that. He will still be able to move unless he plays more than, unless he plays competitive games for us. So, these are two friendlies. Let's not forget that. But yeah, I think Irish fans as well need to kind of wake up to that rule, as
Yeah.
it were, and
Well,
understand the impact it may have.
I mean, it's no real risk, is it, even having Tom Cannon, because he doesn't get, it's not a competitive game. So, if he gets capped, he can still play for England. I think that will be in the back of a lot of people's minds. And it's in the back of mine, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, there's two lads that are going to be training with the team as well. Where are
Yeah,
they? I've got
Josh Keeley and from Barnet on loan to Barnet at the
yes,
moment. Quite a good season with them goalkeeper.
and Bosun
Tom
Lowell.
Ray and both in the world, yeah, very good.
Yeah, no, I mean, fair enough. And then they're going to go up at the under 21s. Should we get into what this is what John O'Shea had to say about it? See your comments coming in, guys. Keep them coming in. There's a message for you, Martin. Put your phone sideways.
All right.
Nuri Norik is giving out. He's not happy. Go on.
What? Put it sideways. Is that better?
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah, I can see more of you, Martin. There you go. You look that lovely smiling face of yours. Yeah, there you go. See, we do listen to our fans, but yeah, keep those comments coming in. We will get to those around the half-hour mark. But we're going to talk a little bit about John O'Shea. By the way, tell us what you think. Are you happy with the squad? What do you think of O'Shea coming in? John Egan. Sorry, not John Egan. And the Stevens coming back in. Robbie Brady. Are these guys past? They should be in the squad. Tell us what you think. Right, so this is what he had to say here. So I didn't actually know this until today, but Damien Duff had a little kind of he was on the second captain's podcast with Richie Sadler, and basically he said that if I was him, Duff on John O'Shea, I wouldn't take it the second time. They've left him out to dry. He is just hanging around. Am I getting it? Am I not? Duff told second captains. He basically was asked about that, and he said that, look, I don't have a problem with it. Because basically they haven't left me out for the they haven't left me hanging, or they haven't left me out to dry, basically is what he said. But John being very he's been sort of diplomatic there, hasn't he? Do you think he's been hung out to dry a little bit by the FAI, Martin?
He has a little bit, but I think he's been very honourable as well. He's not letting us down. He probably recognises the precarious situation the FAI is in, and let's be very honest. We've been chatting about the manager appointment for like months now. Everyone's very, very pissed off of it, and he is a safe pair of hands. I mean, that's what we were thinking was going to happen with the appointment of the manager, that they might even go down that route. But I'm a lot more reassured that the interim is John O'Shea than some of the other people who were linked with it. So yeah, I think he probably has his own ideas of what he's bringing to the job, and is it kind of audition.
Yeah.
So
well,
I understand that.
Well, I mean, he did mention that. David Carell obviously mentioned he's a new the CEO, the interim CEO. We love an interim, don't we, in Irish football? And basically, he said, look, the guarantee I have, because he said that he won't be ruled out, John O'Shea, where Mark Canham, Super Mark, the golden boy of Irish football, recently said that he would actually, he is not in the running. We have a guy for early April, and we know that didn't happen. And now David Carell has come in and said, well, actually, nobody's ruled out because we've started the whole thing over again. So we just wasted 6 months. Well, he didn't say that bit, but let's be honest. So to that comment that Carell made, he said, the guarantee I have been given is that I'm in charge for Hungary and Portugal games. That is what I'm fully focused on. Now, he's pressed further a little bit on that later on. He said, it's one of those things. I know how myself and the staff approached the last 2 games, and it will be similar again this time. It's about focusing on ourselves and how we can affect games as best as we can to get the result. Then whenever it happens, after that happens. Yeah, that's what he said about that. I mean, he is going to say that, isn't he? He's not going to turn around and say, no, that's it now. Twice they've had me, they can stick it a third time. He knows now that he's essentially he's on display now, isn't he? He is. This is an audition for him technically, because obviously what Canham says has been completely negated over this bungling appointment search for a manager.
He is on display. I think that's what I kind of admire O'Shea about, really, because I think he is thinking it's a massive opportunity for me now. I think that's why he's picked this squad. I know, I mean, it's not massively popular that he's not. You know, I've seen some of the speculation. Oh, he should have picked him. He should have picked McAteer, and I think he's gone with a squad that's going to get good results over these next two games. He will have worked with those players before as well. So I think he's kind of got faith in his own ability with that. I think he'll do a good job with the media, which is important. Ultimately, it is. Um, and I think then he can tell us if they don't go, look, I've got good results for you. The players respond to me. I think it's very interesting, actually, after the March games. There was a leak, wasn't there? That, people were very disappointed with either too much time on the pitch or not
Yeah, it
enough
wasn't
time.
clarified, was it?
No, and I think that's something that maybe the media lads, your mates in the media, Dave, might be able to ask. And unless you're going to be brave enough to go to one of those press conferences yourself,
Oh,
maybe
piss
ask a
off.
question.
I live in London.
But no, I think that's the question I'd like to see is, were you disappointed with some of the kind of feedback from the last camp?
Yeah, I mean,
And we know that people do watch this show, and some of our friends in the media are part of the Raw faithful, I suppose. So I think that's a question that should be asked. That's what I would be asking, certainly. And I'll drop in there. I'm coming over to Dublin on the weekend. We've
yeah.
got the Cricket Awards, Player of the Year Awards. John O'Shea is going to be at it, and I can catch a word with him. As you know, Dave, a big fan of John. Me and John, that's the dream team.
Alan, we have a lot of new viewers actually watching us
right.
here. We are live on Twitter, by the way, for the first time. So welcome, Twitter. Yeah. Here's hold on. Where is he? There we go. There you are. Yeah, buddies there.
Yeah,
pals. Well, if Connor,
I think it's an opportunity, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. If Connor's watching, and then we know Connor McAvoy, he will actually be live with me, hopefully, in Dublin and in Portugal when we're doing the pre-match and the post-match stream from the stadium. I pray. But anyway, yeah, I do think he is a bit on display. Speaking of Mark Hannam, actually, he was asked about him. He says that he will be in the camp. Like he was the last time for practically all the days we were in. I'm sure if he feels the need to speak to the players, obviously I will as well. But if he feels the need to do that, he definitely will speak. Probably explain what the hell is going on. As well, we've already touched on that. We don't need to go further into that. On Tom Cannon, of course, he sort of pulled out of. He was included in the under-21s and scored, and then when he had his head turned allegedly by England, he pulled out and he had to sort his head out. So this is what he had to say. But now he's back in. This is what John had to say about Tom Cannon. I spoke to him a couple of times. I tried to get him in for the March window if possible. Seeing Tom at the under-21s, I know what a talent he is, what type of striker he is. I spoke to him and his agent and said, take your time, and when you're ready, just get back in touch with me. Thankfully, they did, and we were able to have another conversation. He was with his family when I spoke to him, and they're very proud and very happy to be committing to Ireland. I can only take a person at the conversation we had. He's looking forward to it and excited to come in for these two games. Let's wait and see. I'm sure it will be the case and that he will be committed. Now, look, it's great to see that he is in for this game, but obviously, this is a friendly. It's not a competitive match, so that will really test if he is involved in the squad in September. I only hope he is, but it's not going to put it's not going to put away the El Doubters, though, Martin, is it, until we get him in for that competitive match?
Yeah, it's Declan Rice scenario again, isn't it? That we've got him and he's going to come in and, John O'Shea's looking around. He's going to. It's a big kind of pressure moment for John O'Shea, really, because he's got to kind of answer that question within the press conference now and the build up to these two games, get him in this camp in a way, which is the Portugal one. See how he works within it all. There'll be a lot of speculation about that, and the worry will be for Ireland fans that this is going to be Declan Rice again. But I think I'd be optimistic. I hope he does. Cap it. Does it?
Just throw him on the pitch against England.
Yeah.
Just push him on the pitch. Yeah, it's like, get him on.
Yeah, fantastic ability. I mean, that's the thing. If I'd like to see Tom Cannon in the press conference or be asked about it, and say, "Are you determined? Are you committed to Ireland? And are you going to prove that?" And when that call up comes again after a good camp, hopefully the next 2 games, call up comes to the 7th of September, in Dublin. Is he going to make himself available for that competitive game where he's going to be tied in? I mean, it's sense of irony away, isn't it? That the team he's linked with, he could be on the pitch for England as well in
Yeah,
that game.
Tom Cannon Derby, a bit like the Sammy Smodics Derby. But thankfully, Sammy is on the
Oh,
bus. Obviously, we have the absentees, and there was a few interesting ones. Festi, these guys, well, we weren't known. We didn't know if they had injuries or not, but we had obviously Alan Brown, Festi Abiselli, and Ryan Manning. What he said about they're out of squad. What he said about Alan Brown was that he's out of contract at the minute. It's a tough one for Alan. I've a lot of admiration for him. This is his last major contract as such. If there were qualifying games, Alan would have been involved. That's for sure. He's concentrating on, as you would do in your career, you would make sure there are no more risks. I totally understand it. He says about Festi, he'd love to have Festi in the squad, but he had a few physical issues after the season and will have to miss out, unfortunately. Basically, the club said, don't you dare go. And on Ryan Manning, this was an interesting one now. Our left wing back, or only left back, really, a natural left back in the squad. Ryan Manning, he hasn't been in the team, Southampton. Just at the minute, I want Ryan to get himself back in the Southampton team in the Premier League, and the Irish team will take care of itself. That's an interesting one, really, because I'm looking there at that squad. Is he talking out of both sides of his mouth a little bit? Because I mean, Enda Stevens, he's 33, missed a massive chunk of the season, played the last few games. There's a few others there as well that haven't really played. Michael Obafemi's one of them also. He hadn't really played for Millwall. There were some issues there. I mean, Ryan Manning, that seems like a strange one to me, Martin. You're only natural left back, and he isn't included in the squad.
yeah, I think that one will be quite interesting because I think if we have people pulling out the squad after the first game, does Ryan Manning come in then? 'Cause he has been known to kind of have that kind of put on him in the past. He has been a late call up, probably one of the standby lads. And that was the case with March. So it's just a bit of a strange one. I think there are some injury doubts, and it's been a long, hard season for some of these players. The little kind of minor ops they might need now that they might have, and holidays booked, and other personal things going on as well. Do they really need these 2 games? I think it kind of shows you where the players kind of feel that they fit into it as well. So yeah, I think it's just going to be quite interesting. I think the Manning one. I think we've got other players who can do a job there, which isn't ideal. And I don't know if perhaps John O'Shea is kind of marking the card there and thinking you're actually the one for the future for me.
Well, I mean,
End is certainly not, to be honest. But
no, I mean, he's 33. At one stage, he was like the quickest, second fastest player in the Premier League. But he's had issues. He's had, I think, did he have splints? Did he as well? And he's had all these, So I mean, his last game for Ireland, I think, was against France in Paris last September, and it was not good. It was really not good. They were absolutely toying with him. I remember Jacob Bryan, who obviously played in the French Cup. I can't remember what was it. What did he call the French Cup?
I don't know, Jesus.
La
I
Coupe
struggle
La
to think of
France. Anyway, yeah, whatever it is, he played in the final. Got ahead. They were 2-0 down as PSG, Kylian Mbappe's last game, and he got a header, brought him back in. But he is hopefully going to get some minutes now against either Hungary or Portugal. This is what Shea had to say about them. The centre backs we have are playing at a really high level too, and Jake knows that. The advances and strides Jake has taken in the last year to 6 months have been brilliant to see. He will definitely be involved in the June games, that is for sure. Yeah, because he wasn't involved in March, which I didn't think that was good from O'Shea, to be honest. It's the same scenario as last March. I'm trying to get a squad together to be more competitive and to win international football matches. It's straightforward for me. It's 2 tough games against 2 international teams that have qualified for the tournament, and they were on good runs. Yeah, I mean, Jacob Bryan, he has to play, doesn't he? Would you start him, or would you just throw him on as a sub and see what happens?
I'd bring him on and cap him as the sub, basically. Introduce him a little bit. There's no rushes there. We're not massively urgent. to get him in there and starting lineup. I think it's a nicer way of maybe doing it. Yeah, no, I think just you got to have him involved around the camp, and that's maybe where the argument is for like Duffy. People who've been there and done it and seen it and experienced and know how it works, and what set pieces are and stuff. But he's going to be a massive attribute for us going forward. He's definitely one for the future.
He's definitely one for the future, and he's done so well. Apparently, he's been linked with Everton, who I thought were going to go to the Championship, but they're a Premier League team. Might just suit Sean Dyche as well. He likes a good Irish centre half as well, Sean Dyche, and he's been linked with Juventus. I'd probably rather him go to Everton, to be fair. If he can cut it in the Premier League, fantastic. But he's done brilliantly well, Jacob Ryan, and well done to him. Really, like, fantastic stuff. One player that was out, we've had a comment on, and then we're going to go over to the comments. Actually, there's plenty coming in there, guys. So keep them coming in. We're going to get to those. But Casey McAteer, apparently he was very close to a call up. But he's got an issue with his hamstring and must be fully fit. He is also going to be a Premier League player. So I take it that was already done. He's changed his allegiance to Ireland. That was kept. I'd imagine he has, because that's been kept very on the wraps, hasn't it? Like, we knew he was the player that Stephen Kenny was trying to get, but then it kind of went very quiet, didn't it? But apparently, no. He was very close to a call up.
Yeah, and even back then, though, when Stephen Kenny was talking about it, it was just a little bit of I don't know, really. It was kind of just obviously speculation, but it was like kind of papering over the cracks, wasn't it? Give us something to kind of be excited about. Not
A new toy.
massively, really. Yeah, it is a bit of that. Like, we do overhype some of these players, of course, we know that, but I think it's important, that even this camp is a positive one, and that going over to Portugal, I actually haven't seen the itinerary of what way they're doing it, because I know that sometimes they do these camps, they do make it kind of warm weather training, and I don't think it's really that, not that I've heard anyway. So, it's really, what are they going to be together? Probably 11 days at most.
Yeah.
So it's not like 2 or 3 weeks.
I do feel bad though for John O'Shea in this, because I mean, it's a long, tough. It's a silly time to have a game, really, isn't it? Especially a friendly, because and the way the UEFA calendar rotates. Sometimes you have Nations League, sometimes you have qualifiers, sometimes, like now, because we're before a tournament which starts on the 15th of June, Scotland against Germany, the Euros, of course. It's a long, hard season for all of them. Doesn't matter if you won everything; it's still a long, hard season, and a lot of players probably don't fancy it, don't want to get injured, and they want to just have a break. So I do feel bad for John O'Shea, and I see the comments coming in. We're going to get to those in 2 seconds. So I do feel bad for him. Here's a guy, he's been left sort of in the lurch, a little bit, and he's got to take the reins again. He's got to pick a very uninspiring squad, in my opinion, and he's dealing with lots of withdrawals. Yeah, I reckon he's going to have more, isn't he? He's going to have more withdrawals as this goes on. People are going to pick up knocks. It's probably 1 or 2 that are 50-50, and then the club's going to say, just get back here. And then, someone would just want to go on holiday, which I understand as well,
Yeah, I doubt. I mean, a key thing for me for this kind of this meetup really is, I think I'm excited about Lowell coming into it, the under-21s.
Really good player, him, yeah.
And get him in, because it's a problem position midfield. And I think we also need to see more of Sammy Schmodic. So we're very disappointed if he doesn't play both games.
No Andy Moran. No Andy Moran, and apparently he said he wasn't selected. He was not selected over not playing that much. Just having a look here at Kieran, the Irish Kieran, on Twitter. Hello, if you're watching. He had his say in it. He says O'Shea saying Andy Moran was not selected over not playing that much. Moran has 19 starts this season and made 35 appearances in total. That's more than your mate Adauda, Obafemi, Brady Stevenson, also Cannon at the same level. He wants some media pushback on that. Well, here you go, Kieran. There's a bit of media pushback. He does have a point. If those stats are spot on, and he does tend to be quite spot on with his stats, Kieran, that's a strange one as well. Andy Moran, no Andy Moran. I'd imagine he'd be in the under 21s.
Yeah, and I think sometimes there's a little bit of that kind of agreement with Jim Crawford there. What way they're doing it, and look, ultimately it does come down to he's an interim manager appointment, and he's not going to rock the boat probably with the under-21s too much. He's rewarding players he's worked with, knows it's a problem position, so brings in Lowell in there, rewards Josh Keeley for a good season with Barnett on loan from Tottenham.
Yeah,
the under-21s do have to be serious as well. And I think I think it's where we are, sadly, and this manager thing is still just over our heads. And until
Yeah,
that's resolved, we can't kind of be brave with it. And it has, look, we can't lie about it. It sets back 6, 9 months very, very, very easily going into them September games.
yeah, no, absolutely.
Really, really bad for Portugal.
Right. Well, let's get into the comments. If you're watching this for the first time, because we have a load of new viewers on Twitter, fantastic. Just looking at the numbers here, so thank you very much. Just to say, Martin's sound quality would normally a lot better. Normally sounds like this, but he is away, and fair play to Martin. Thank you for taking time out, and just make sure you buy Mrs. Prendergast a big bunch of flowers and tell her they're from me, Martin, and I'll send you the cash in the post somewhere. But yeah, we're going to get into the comments. So this is the part of the show, if you're new to it, where basically we read out your comments. We're uncensored to a degree. Just don't be silly with your comments. Don't be insulting unless it's towards Martin, and also just just keep them classy. We'll read them out, and anything goes. So let's get to that part of the show, Martin. It's my favorite part, actually, because I love to hear what the Roar faithful have to say. And look, I'm going to celebrate it. Nuri Newick will be very pleased with this. Here we go. And we are Irish football's most interactive podcast. And we are, by the way, because you can have your say what you want. But do you notice why I put a bin as a suggestion? But anyway, right, let's get into it. Well, we're going to get to the first one just to get the flavor going. Dave McGuinness, how are you doing, David? This is not the first comment, but I'm going to read it out as the first comment. Dave McGuinness, what the fuck is the deal with the squad? Dave, now, if you're a new listener, Dave McGuinness is very, very shy about his opinions here, folks. Yeah, I do. I mean, I think we touched on that. Obviously, it's a no-win situation. You have an interim manager who doesn't know what's going on. You have an association who kind of messed them around a little bit. You got players who don't really know what's going on. It's a long, hard season. There's a lot of injuries. And to be fair, there are a lot of injuries. Bazunu, Evans, Collins. And there's a lot of players that probably just, they're tired, they're worn out. And you've also got another 21s game happening as well. So it's very, very unfortunate timing for John O'Shea. To be fair to him, you got to give the lad some, cut him a bit of slack. But anyway, the first real comment of the night goes to Richard Joyce. How you doing, Richard, over on YouTube? Not trying to sound bad to O'Shea, but his squad is irrelevant. The man's not getting the job. He's just keeping the seat warm till September for Sagnol. Annoyingly, that these friendlies are pointless. Sagnol, of course, gets his campaign underway against for Georgia. I have a Euro 2024 thing in front of me, and I can't find it because I haven't got the lights on. But yeah, anyway, I don't know why I mentioned that. But Richard reckons Willie Sagnol, who is at the Euros with Georgia, was going to be the man. I think we all accept that was going to be the case. He's just keeping the seat warm for Willie Sagnol, Martin. Your mate John, he's not going to get it. Disaster for you, Martin.
Willie's a disaster for me, is it? Like, I have no problem with John O'Shea getting it. Willie Sagnol, I don't know if they will go down that kind of that way really, but then again, I think that's just me believing the previous words of Mark Cannon and the idea from as well, Jonathan Hill, that it was going to be an Irish appointment. I don't know if that's massively important now as well. It's more of this pathway investment, and I don't know if they're even sticking to that now. It's just such a shit show. Yeah, but I do think we will wait until, obviously, as I said, I think it will be kind of six weeks before September. So
oh yeah, plenty of time
after the Euros. There's a famous stat, isn't it? I think it's actually mentioned in Mick McCarthy's 2002 kind of World Cup diary book that I think it's like 40% of managers who go into tournaments end up leaving, even though they just signed contracts.
Yeah,
quite cleverly. So I think there'll be lots of availability of managers, and it's how the FAI kind of organise themselves now and sell the job to them, because I think it has been such a shit show that the only one they probably don't have to sell it to is John O'Shea, because I think he knows what's there in place and what's coming through as the under 21.
And he's willing to come back.
Yeah, and he's willing to invest into it. Whereas everyone else, you are kind of saying that it doesn't look good, and what it doesn't look good to as well. Some of these players, kind of the granny rulers in a way, because why do you want to get involved with the FAI it's so kind of mad behind the scenes. And
Yeah,
it might sound a bit ludicrous to say this, but that's why maybe John O'Shea's picked this kind of safe squad of players who have had multiple caps over the years, because when they're going back to their clubs, they can say, look, it's good. Playing for Ireland's good. You're going to get opportunities and things, and it's not.
yeah.
It was actually well run.
Okay.
That's my dream world, of course, with the
Well,
positivity.
I agree with John. I agree, with Richard. There, I do think I do feel sorry for him. I think it's just another squad of stagnation. This team needs a lot of work, and there's some decent players coming through. It needs a lot of work. It needs a man or woman, whoever, to impart their vision, their plan for the team, and we don't have that. But anyway, we'll move it on. Nuri, good squad. Let's mass debate over it. Wait, I just realised as I read it out, what he was saying. He gets me every week with that one. Graham Farrell, how you doing, Graham? Don't understand the laugh when you mentioned Jamie McGrath. The lad's a good player. Shane Duffy back in fuck sakes. I do. I hear you on that one, Graham. Jamie McGrath, well, we'll have to agree to disagree. He's never impressed me in an Ireland shirt, and he only has to impress me, Graham. Only me. And I think the lads would actually agree with me on that one. He had a good game against Portugal and Faro, and that was it. But we'll agree to disagree over that. Shane Duffy, I do agree with you there. I'm not sure what he's doing in the squad. Also, he didn't play. He's a championship player with Norwich now. They didn't get promoted. Obviously, the manager got fired straight after the semi-final loss because he got battered. Daniel Dave Wagner, wasn't it? The former Huddersfield Town manager, actually, and also the whole thing with the drink driving. Not impressed by it. I'm surprised actually that Norwich played him after that. That's everything you need to know about that club. But that's my opinion on it. There, Graham Farrell as well. Brady and Stevens back in is a bit samey. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be revolution or evolution at the moment. Jim Campbell, hi from Dundee. Hell. Good man, Jim. Hope you were well. A new listener, new viewer. I hope you enjoy the show. New York. I agree with Graham Farrell. Shane Duffy, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, Martin, Shane Duffy really, nothing against the guy, well, other than the drink driving thing. But yeah, really, should he? Would you have included him in the squad?
I think it's no, I wouldn't have, but I don't know if it's John O'Shea's kind of remit as an interim manager to kind of be the moral guardian of Irish football for that reason. I think footballing wise, you could say he's had quite a good season, but are we going to upset a lot of Derry people? The fact that he's excluded, and we've also got rid of James McLean recently as well. And James McLean shows I can only imagine the reaction if he leaves out his mate Shane Duffy. So yeah, interesting.
Sure, Bill. I wonder if Bill of Irish Football Vlog. What is that about that? Greg Farrell. Yeah, the canon thing is a bit iffy, to be fair. Well, yeah, I mean, look, it's not. Well, we'll see how it goes. If he has a good start to the Premier League season for Ipswich, sorry, not Ipswich Town, for Leicester City, and he does well, will he have his head turned again? Like when his stock was high, Martin, and I'm going to point you out because you're a granny ruler as well, Martin. When his stock was high and England came calling, his head went that way. Then his stock went down, and all of a sudden he's back playing for Ireland. People might not be comfortable with me calling that out, but let's be honest, that's what people are going to think.
I think though is what I do like about John O'Shea in the press conferences is the brutal honesty. To be honest, and I love the fact I think it's well managed. I think he didn't actually have to say that we spoke to his agent. I love the fact he did though, because it just shows you like we had to wake up. This is how modern football works. If you want to, you can speak to the player, of course, but a lot of the time you are speaking to their people, their agents, things like that, and it may be farcical to us who would do anything to play for Ireland even for a minute. But that's modern football now, and contractually, it's so important that these players get it right, their choice, and when
Yeah,
their heads in hand as well. I think that's as well some of these players who aren't available and like Festi and stuff, the pressure they're on from their clubs, because if they've even had the slightest niggle and they've been managing that for the last few months of the season, and then they're looking to get an extension of a contract, for example, and the club are going, yep, okay, well, we've managed you, and we believe in you, and all that kind of thing. But then you say, well, actually, I'm going to have to play for Ireland. They're going, hang on a second, you've hardly been able to train. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving a speculative
Yeah.
example of Presky. But these players often carry injuries. Contractually, a lot of things are going on in the background, and there's a lot of like secrets in football.
Well,
So
Tom Cannon's career, his season was 3 goals last season. Now he's out for a fair bit of that. Not taking the lad out. I'm happy he's on board because I think he's got talent. But we need him focused on the Ireland cause. But he was out with a back injury for a couple of months, and he was kind of on the bench. He didn't really feature for Leicester. Now, to be fair, it's very difficult when you got a title chasing team and a title winning team to crack that. So we'll see where he's going to end up next season. But glad to have him on board. But I think a lot of people just want him to focus now on the green shirt and move on. Martin Fitzpatrick, no McAteer, how you doing, Martin? No, apparently he does have an issue with his hamstring and he wants to go into pre-season absolutely rested. And look, they're friendlies anyway, aren't they? Hamstring, especially with a young lad. I think he's 20. Casey McAteer, how old is he, Martin? Come on, help me out here. Help out with me. How old is he?
I
Too late, 22. See, Martin, you couldn't even do that for me. He's 22, so he needs to make sure that for these couple of years that he does look after his body very well. Michael Loomis, how you doing, Michael? Over on YouTube. Shane Duffy has experience in the green jersey and has got Ireland out of a few holes in the past. Man deserves more games-wise. O'Shea, all the best, but don't think he will land the job too soon for him. I agree with that. Look, Shane Duffy does have experience. He has got us out of a few holes, but I think we're trying to play a more progressive style of football. And when we did under Stephen Kenny, like the game against Scotland, we beat him 3-0. We almost were down 2-0 before we got the first goal. And I don't think he suits a progressive style of football. Would I have him in the squad? I wouldn't have had him in this squad. That's for sure. To be honest with you, I don't think it sets a good example. I'm not trying to throw stones at glass houses, but you're a professional. You're trying to set an example. Would I rule him out of all other squads? No, probably not. But I wouldn't have had him in this squad, to be honest with you, Michael. And look, John O'Shea, I do think it would be too soon for him. However, we are desperate for a manager. Nobody has taken the gig. So why not give it to John O'Shea? He wants it. He can work with it. He's a name. He will make mistakes. He seems to be quite, the first game against Belgium, he seemed to be quite savvy. Fell away a little bit against Switzerland. The second game in March, the one we lost. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be at this stage. I wouldn't be too mad if they gave it to him. Nuri Nurik approves of you switching the phone 90 degrees, Martin. Good man. Graham Farrell again. Is he going to give O'Brien a run this time, or is it going to be another wasted call up? Well, Graham, according to O'Shea, he is going to give him a call up. He is going to give him a run out. Michael McCarn. Hi guys, enjoying the show, Michael. Glad you were enjoying it over on Facebook. I want to say again a hello to our Twitter followers on both Twitter pages, Lansdowne Road and Roar. Getting a lot of new viewers here tonight, so hope you're enjoying the show. Irish football's most interactive podcast. Michael Loomis again. To be fair to O'Shea, he knows he hasn't got the experience for the job, so he's going to take what he can. Get him 4 games. It was a nice experience for him to go in his manager career. I mean, so far so good, Michael, as well. He hasn't disgraced himself. Michael Loomis again. I believe that there's a deal already made for Sagnol to take it out to the Euros. O'Shea is just keeping a team in order till then. We've touched on that earlier on, but I wouldn't be surprised. Greg Farrell, football friends, of course, alluding to your lovely picture. Let me find it again. God, I'm running out of pictures here. I've loads of pictures on here. There you go.
Ireland management so far. He can put that on his CV.
Mates with Martin, yeah. who is this man? He just appeared. That was in his hotel room, Martin, wasn't he? Just he just came out from underneath the bed. I'm still annoyed that you cannot get that top. You still can't buy that top. If anybody from Castoria is watching, for the love of God, put that top on for sale, and I will buy it. It's a quality.
Looks like had more influence in that last camp than Brian Kerr there. Anyway,
you did. Yeah, I'm sure he left an impression, Martin. Irish Jedi, how you doing, Irish Jedi? O'Shea can't go 3 home games in a row without a goal and expect to be considered. He should go for it with team selection. I think it's a great point. I think it's a very good point. He still hasn't got a goal yet. Very close to it in the game against Belgium, but we need to see.
Let's be honest, though. Stephen Kenny went ages without getting a goal. We don't score a lot of goals, and you know we did create more. I think, and it was a lot better start. I think for O'Shea than under Stephen Kenny in his tenure, to be honest. And you
Well,
know, and so
well,
down to the players as well. You know, missing Evan last time. Um, like now we
when
are
he
as
missed a
well.
penalty, in the last game, Evan, didn't he? We should have
Yeah,
been.
yeah. So we
Yeah,
we have opportunities. Smodix as well was just had finding his feet at that level and came into it really really well. So yeah, I'd be a lot brighter with it. Even Adam Ida coming on, I thought was a lot more creative and one of the
yeah,
ones who didn't get time on the pitch, of course, Obafemi. And I think you do have to look at some of the players. You know, it's very tough on strikers. We had for a long time, didn't we? Strikers who just weren't able to score for Ireland. Went a long time. Adam Ida went a long time without getting a goal,
mm.
and now he's on the back of a fantastic season, winning with
Well,
Celtic. So that's
will
a new
will will
striker.
will it translate to international football? I think Aristide is right. We need to see more. We do need to see more. We're against Hungary now, who have qualified for the Euro, so it'd be a
Yeah.
good opportunity.
One player though I think is important that who's absent, and just saying how we do build up Irish players, Dave, is Callum Robinson has just fell off a cliff completely. I mean, even Aaron Conley
Yeah,
was in the squad not so long ago, and it just shows you we put so much pressure and praise on them when they perform, but they've got to be so consistent. It just shows you the top level, the consistency is key.
yeah. As I said, I don't think. Well, we'll get through the comments there. But League of Ireland Fan TV, our friends over there, how you doing, lads? Cowardly would be harsh, but it's an incredibly unaspiring squad selection from John O'Shea. Yeah, and yet again, I don't think that's his fault. He did say March that if I was the permanent manager, I would pick a different team. So I don't think it's his fault. Look, it's not up to him. It's not his job to retire Duffy or Brady or Coleman or anything. I'm not saying that we should retire them, but that's not up for him. That's up for the next manager, whoever that may be. And it might be O'Shea. We don't know, but that's up to the next manager. So I do feel for John O'Shea, to be fair. Irish Jedi again. Totally understandable from Alan Brown. He played through injury in numerous camps in the last qualifying campaign. Deserves one last big club contract. Yep, absolutely. He's at that age now, isn't he? This is going to be it for him. So totally understandable. Irish Jedi again. Duffy, O'Dowd, Stevens, Brady should be thanked for the service and moved on. Undermines the process of rebuilding, picking those players. Yet again, it's not that's not John O'Shea's job, to be fair. And I agree with you, Irish Jedi, but that's not up to John O'Shea. The Coupe de France, there we go. Graham Farrell said that's what the name of it is. Or is it Le FA Coupe? From Irish Jedi. I love it. Aurora Faithful out there, love it. Great. I tell you what, it is actually great to be back on, and I can't wait for this window. We'll see what happens, but I can't wait. Love doing the live shows from the stadium. Love doing the aftermaths, all that stuff. It's great. It's great to talk to our wonderful, wonderful Roar Faithful. Nathan Fitzpatrick would have loved, and that young man, Semlo Garcia Magnulti. What a name. Involved in the squad. Good season, Holland, and can play centre back or left back. And imagine he will be under 21s. Garcia McNulty. Yeah, he's 21, so he'll probably have another spin in the under 21s. But yet again, another player comes through. I remember him from the under 19s, actually. Dave McGuinness. Oh, we already read that one out. Irish Jedi. Do you think these friendlies should be scrapped with the amount of games players play a year? I do. Irish Jedi. I mean, they're getting ridiculous now, but it's obviously the warm-up games, aren't they, for the Euros? And we were qualifying, we'd be playing them no matter what. If we qualified for the tournament, we'd have to have a couple of warm-up games. But yeah, I mean, June qualifiers are quite poor as well when we do, because the players are knackered, and
Yeah, I
here
would
we go
agree.
now.
No, I like these games. Like I know the players don't want them, but they're always. We've got some pretty good trips over the years. I remember going to Faroe Islands and places like that. It was
Yeah.
always quite good. Also, you can use them if we're an organised association. You do the USA tours, things like that. I think it can really galvanise the squad if they get it right. And I think we can't ever say players play too much football when you've got the likes of the Premier League finishing. Was it Tottenham and Newcastle went over and played a game 4 days later somewhere? So
Yeah.
that's absolutely
And
ridiculous.
Trippier got
Arsenal
injured, didn't he?
undermines everything. Just undermines everything, doesn't it? That so when money's
Yeah,
involved, it wouldn't surprise you. But I think these are kind of good bonding trips for the players in a sense.
yeah. No, no, absolutely agree there. But I mean, look, the Nations League, remember they did like there were 10 days, wasn't it? It was a load of load of games in 10 days. But no, the quality though will be it'll be pedestrian pace. I don't think we're going to learn nothing from these games. We're really not. You got to have a manager who's not expecting to be there at the end of it. And you got to have players that are going to be on their holiday bobs. You'll have one or two, like I think someone like Jacob Bryan will really want to make an impression because that's the one position, isn't it, where we have a lot of competition. We're pretty well covered in centre back. So he'll really want to make a case for that. But it's very difficult to make a case for a manager that might not even be there, you know, when the manager's decided in September, you hope. Need the camp to go well, says Dave McGuinness, but pointless decisions on the squad. May as well bring back McLean for another testimonial. Oh, Jesus. I wonder if he's watching. He does go on the Lansdowne Road page. He does have a personal Facebook page, and a few players on there like Eddie McGoldrick and Ray Houghton and all that, but he is on there. So still don't appreciate his comment saying I'm a fanny for running a page. And you're a fanny too, Martin. Just saying. Graham Farrell, it's mad having two friendlies the week before the tournament and a few days after the Champions League final. And seasons season's end. Players do be knackered by the end of it. We're playing two teams that have qualified. What are we going to learn? That's exactly what I said, Graham, actually. And he says teams that qualified aren't going to be going full pelt, so we're hardly going to learn anything, are we? Yep. That's exactly what I said. But you know what? Enjoy a trip to Portugal and Dublin, to be fair, as well. Kurt, Peterborough United FC? Highland?
Yeah.
Is that correct, Kurt? I hope I haven't offended you there. Brady Coleman Duffy, where is the future? The whole of the FEI needs a revamp. Yep. I've got to be very careful because I'm sure they're watching, but yeah. Jason Carroll, what's your prediction for the two games? Sorry, not Jason, Joseph. I do apologise, Joseph. Going full pelt comments flying in at me here. I reckon it'll be a 1-0 win against Hungary, and I reckon 0-0 in Portugal. Go on, Martin. This is where you speak.
Oh, sorry. I think we will score in Dublin. I think we need to give the fans something positive to cheer there. And Portugal, I think it'll be 1-0, something like that. I think we might score over there, but it might be an absolutely,
1-1 Portugal. And what's the Hungary one?
1-0.
1-0 Ireland.
Yeah.
Tom Cannon with a goal, and then he gets called up by England. No, I'm just joking, Tom. If you're watching. Dave McGuinness, no more or Manning or Fessy is bizarre. I get keeping Coleman involved. You need leaders, but Duffy, Stevens and Brady is odd. O'Shea may or not get the job, but he should be managing his windows if he has it, and his preparation starts now and not play just to not lose. It's a red flag for John O'Shea for me, and very Staunton vibes. Appreciate end of season bullshit ensues. Yet again, Dave, we have touched on that. Manning, yeah, that's a strange one with Manning. Hasn't played a lot of games. I think Fessy is injured. And, well, Coleman, he doesn't want to end his career, basically. But you have to remember, though, David, and I do understand what you're saying, it's not his. And I'd imagine, I have not heard this. I am just plucking this out of the air, but I'd imagine that Mark Hannam is basically saying to him, pick a nice, safe. And it is what interim managers do anyway. Noel King did it, didn't he? When he took over from Trapp and he handed over to Martin O'Neill, basically, he brought in Andy Reid, for example, because he didn't want to end his career. So Andy Reid probably would have retired afterwards. Don't want to speak for him, but he was kept, in the wilderness for years. So probably John O'Shea is being told or doesn't want to end the careers of Coleman, whatever. He wants to keep it warm, safe for the next guy that comes in. And it might be John O'Shea. We don't know. Kurt, again, Highland. I watch League One football every week. There we go. Peterborough was right. I think this Ireland squad would struggle in the lower leagues. I mean, I think it's a talented team, Kurt. It just needs a bit of direction, and it's just really. Would you agree, Martin? It's just completely lacked a bit of leadership. It's been a bit of a rudderless ship over the last while, the last few months.
It's not been good. It's not been good for the last few years, and with all the excuses and stuff, we don't want to dwell on it too much. But yeah, look, I think it'll be a little bit reflected on, a little bit like Staunton, but probably with less better players than we had with Stan. But
Yeah,
just
there
need
you go.
guidance. I think he's
Just need
incredibly
guidance
talented.
and
Yeah.
coaching. It's good. It's good
We're trying to
teams.
do, yeah,
Like
we
good
were trying to
players.
do something. We were trying to do something with Kenny that wasn't really feasible for those players ultimately. I think now it's
Yeah,
been proven right, and I think it also impacted. I mean, I like Stephen Kenny as a guy, gentleman, but you've got to be able. You need to full package as a manager now. You need to inspire your players, inspire the fans. You need to be able to communicate a lot
yeah.
better. And something where
Shane Duffy. No, I'm just joking. I'm not. Shane's probably going to kill me if he sees me. No, look, but um, presumably, says New York, there will be a Nuka Story Ireland away kit for the Portugal game. Yeah, that's true. Hasn't come out yet, has it? You see, they have a wholesale thing or an outlet thing on there, don't they? A story.
Mm.
And you notice you can't actually get the jersey in the UK either. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
Oh,
you know me. I could go on all day about this.
we won't.
No, I know we won't. Yeah, but yeah, I don't. Well, look, it wouldn't surprise me that we've still not launched the shirt, even if we are, when all the other teams have come out with their ones for the Euros, and kids in Ireland are probably buying Mbappe tops and Ronaldo tops still, and we haven't got an Ireland shirt out in the shops. But not that we should necessarily have one, but still, we just don't get it right ever.
No,
Which is
and
a big.
we don't consult with the Ireland fans either. Rule one of marketing: conduct a poll.
I see that. It still frustrates me to this day. I just always think JC. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Those who know.
If you, by the way, if you ever want to know about that story about JC, Jesus Christ of the shirts, if you talk to me in person, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened. That was a wild ride. Dave McGuinness, I think Sagnol could be Carsley all over again. FEI putting all their eggs in that basket for him to get his head turned by something else. If Georgia has a respectable Euros, he will get reasonably good club offers for Europa League level teams and better international jobs. I think that's a very fair point, because I mean, that's why we're in the mess we're in, isn't it? We put all our eggs in one basket with one guy apparently, and then they qualify. Well, if it is this guy, if it is Sagnol, we don't know. But unless they've signed a pre-contract agreement, which they haven't, because it would have been announced. I mean, because nothing's been ratified by the board, it's just very up in the air, isn't it? Like we really don't know if it is this guy. If it is, we saw that. What was it? I'm going to go back to Euro 2004. Jacques Santini was the manager of France, and when the tournament ended, he signed a pre-contract before the tournament. Actually, for when the tournament ended, he was taken over as Tottenham boss, and his first game was actually against. I think it was a 1-1 draw with Rafa Benitez's first game in charge of Liverpool. 1-1 draw at White Hart Lane. I could be wrong. So they haven't even signed that, have they? Like, there's there's
They
nothing.
don't know what they're doing. No, and again,
Well,
it's just the buzzword in football at the moment is like, even if you think of like the season that's just finished, look how many clubs. It's just football's just absolutely gone mental. Like they have no kind of morals or shame in sacking managers who win or speculation and being interviewed now. Like you just won a trophy, for example, Eric Ten Hag the other day. And they're all asking him more about speculation. Players are not doing media after winning the FA Cup because they're just afraid that they're going to be asked about the manager, the awkward position
yeah,
they're put in. And the buzzword of football now is all head coach, head coach, head coach. I mean, look at the incredible football sides who are competing for the Premier League and, even playing in Europe like Barcelona and stuff, but they just sack their managers so quickly now. And it's just a merry-go-round. And
yeah,
something now that's kind of, it's unsettling me a little bit more. Not that we're in the league, obviously, of getting those caliber of managers in there, but you know, you can, there's a lot of managers that you think who, for example, who've managed Chelsea in the past 10 years,
yeah,
who they had one very, very good job or done a good job winning a trophy somewhere, and then it's just they're linked with. They got the job at Chelsea then, so you just don't know what way people are approaching stuff. Someone can have a very good performance at the Euros, who's not even on the radar, and just think, yeah, like Willie said, he could easily go anywhere else if he has a good performance with that level of, and his people are working in the background to get in that job. So
Mm.
you just don't know. Like Robbie Keane could come back into the equation quite simply as well. He could.
Robbie Keane.
I wouldn't be anyway surprised with anything in football.
That's a question, actually. We're sort of catching up on the comments. Our Faithful, would you take Robbie Keane right now? There was a video of him actually in, was it Jerusalem? Or no, it's supposed to be Tel Aviv, wasn't it? Where he walked into kids playing football on a park and he got involved and he started playing around. And Claudine put the video up of him. Would you guys out there, would you take Robbie Keane as a manager? Just putting it out there, just asking the question. Darren, how's it going? Do you know what? Every bloody time my mind goes blank with that surname. I'm not even going to insult you with it, Darren, but I'm glad to see what Hartnett. Yes, Hartnett. Sorry, Darren. We always every day we butcher your name. I'm so sorry. But I'm glad you're enjoying the show. Hi, lads. Love the show as always. I know people will say it doesn't matter, but this bugs me. Why is Harrington called up? He's the Fleetwood Town manager, goalkeeper, I believe. Crazy inclusion, reserve keeper or not. Now, Darren, would this have anything to do with Mr. Brian Talbot at Bohemians Football Club? A lot of Bows fans say that. I do not know enough about Brian Talbot, but a lot of people have said to me that he should be in that. He should be considered in that squad, not just as a token gesture, but he's actually a very good goalkeeper. Don't know anything with the League of Ireland, Darren. Well, if I don't, bloody Martin doesn't, that's for sure. Sorry, Martin. I love you. But yeah, what is it with Brian Talbot? I mean, he's there. He's already. How old is he actually? Not Brian Talbot, but Harrington at Fleetwood. Hold on. See, I'm doing all this for you. David Harrington. He's 23, and Brian Talbot's 24, I believe. So yeah, it's a strange one. Maybe give the League of Ireland lad a bit of an experience. I have no idea what it is, but you guys agree there?
In the middle of the season, no?
Huh?
It might be that they're in the middle of the season, really, the League of Ireland.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I keep forgetting on a completely different schedule there. Maybe that's it.
And then rewarding someone or having a look at him as an opportunity, isn't it? Mazzini's out.
Now, Darren hasn't said he wants Brian Talbot, by the way. We're putting words in his mouth there, so but I'm pretty sure that's what Darren wants. But yeah, I mean, you're in the middle of the League of Ireland season, which is hotting up. Duff doing a fantastic job with Shelbourne. They won in Tallaght as well against Shamrock Rovers. See, I know a little bit about the League of Ireland, Martin. You haven't got a clue. John Murphy over on YouTube. This squad screams to me that O'Shea won't be the long-term manager. It just seems like a squad that's stable, no experiments, which would suggest he's going. Also, the John confirmed McAteer has committed. Yeah, I understand what you're saying there, John. It does seem like that. However, he could still be the manager. David Carell did come out last week and said, actually, basically, we're wiping the slate clean. It's an open process again, where Mark Canham said that he wasn't going to get it. So I reckon whoever they go after next time turns it down, or who they have on their sites, they'll probably go to John. Look, just take it. John will probably take it. He's been there for, don't want to put words in his mouth, but he's been there for his country so much. Also, McAteer, he didn't confirm it, but he did say he was close to a call up. But we did touch on it earlier on, John. We weren't too sure whether we hadn't heard anything confirmed, but apparently he was very close to a call up. Brian Farrell again. Shane Duffy probably using his own drunken hole to fill the gap in the back four. Oh God. Muppet. Richard Keogh sacked by Derby for the same thing, which he wasn't when he wasn't even driving. Well, just to confirm, Richard Keogh was sacked, and he did take Derby to court and won. Was it Derby? Was it?
Yeah.
It was, and he did win for unfair dismissal. He wasn't driving; he was in the back of a car, and he had a horrible leg injury. But yeah, Shane Duffy, as I said, 3 times over the limit. He shouldn't be included in the squad. That's my opinion. And Jim Campbell lays the boots in there. Shane Duffy was a flop for Celtic. He really was. Liam Scales, though, done very well. He's included in the squad. He's had a fantastic double winning season, and so has Adam Ida up in Celtic. P. Ireland, how you doing? Cork City fan, good man. Loving the podcast, lads. First time listening live. Good man. Thank you very much, McGum. What is your name? I don't want to say it's Patrick. Could be Paul. Could be Peter. But we are delighted you are enjoying it. Oh, we have our first, I believe it's our first Twitter comment. Irish football blog. Hated, adored. I think Bill's had a few lemonades there. Is he? But never ignored. Jesus Christ. I didn't even know he was old enough to drink. Sorry, Bill. Sorry, Bill. We love you. Tom, do you think O'Shea went too safe with the squad because he's only there to try and win 2 games? Yes, Tom. I think also, Tom, Mark Canham or somebody had a word in his ear. Listen, pick a nice safe squad. It isn't your squad. We're keeping it safe for the next guy and let him end international careers if that's the way they want to do it. Tom Webb, what formation will O'Shea go with? 5 at the back again? Hopefully not. Or will we see a 4 at the back and wingers? What do you reckon, Martin? Do you reckon he'll jazz it up or he'll just go with the same old, same old?
I think it will come down to availability now as well, to be honest. I think he'll go with the wing backs. Yeah, I think he will. So 3 at the back for me. 5 or 3, whatever way you want to think about it. 5 would be the wing.
Sorry, Bill's contact me on the Roar Riders thing. James Talbot, he's also, I won't say what he said about James Talbot because Bill's got himself into enough trouble. Rumor has it, Bill actually went out on Twitter and said that it was James McClain was calling him a fanny over at because he called out saying that he was very lucky to get Mr. Never Ignored there because he called him out, said he was very lucky to get over 100 caps for Ireland. I reckon John O'Shea will go with the same. Tom, I don't think he's going to rock the boat. I called it from the start. It'd be very safe squad, be very safe selection, and he's just going to try and get a win. Again, he's going to try and grind out results. Again, Jim Campbell, hope Scotland do well at the Euros. Hopefully so. They open up proceedings against Germany in the opening game, and that is in Munich. 15th of June. Sorry, I need to rethink this wall thing, but we are, Jim, going to be doing some podcasts all through the Euros, and we're going to be doing sort of reactionary podcasts, and we will be covering them for a bit of crack because we're not in them, are we? And God knows when we will be. But yeah, we hope Scotland does well. They've never got out of a group. They've never got out of a group stage, Martin, when we've made it to a major tournament, Scotland, ever, of any tournament.
They're very unlucky Euro 96, weren't they?
Yep. It was. When Holland got that 1 goal, Netherlands got that 1 goal back against England when England smashed them 4-1, that knocked them out. Jesus. And that team, those players, like some players they've had, some frightening teams over the years, Scotland. Michael Loomis again. Martin, is that picture the reason you want O'Shea for the Ireland job?
I'm not that fickle.
Yeah, you are. You really are. He is, trust me. And then he'd be going to him, John, do you remember me? Do you remember me when do you remember me when I snuck into your hotel room and the security guard took me away and it says, O'Brien should get minutes this time round, deserves Adam Kavanagh on Jake O'Brien. Yes, and John O'Shea says that he will get minutes. Graham Farrell, the Belgium game was a very, very good performance. We looked like a decent side again, but Jesus, the Switzerland game was like back to the Kenny era, so chalk and cheese. And yet again, it was 2 games. And I did say that, 2 games, whether we hammered them 4-0 or we lost 4-0, was not enough to check whether, to confirm whether O'Shea's the man or not. Joe 123452. Not Ida. Ida. Are you listening now, Martin? It's Ida.
Sorry about that. I mean, we do have a problem on the show pronouncing Gaelic names, Irish
Gaelic names. I mean, there you go, Joe. I mean, this is what I work with. Gaelic names. Fucking hell. First of all, Irish names. If you got to go down the Irish route, it's Gaelga, not Gaelic. He's not Scottish, right? See what I'm dealing with. The excellence of elocution right over here. Sometimes. Willie Motley, lads, do you think chasing Tom Cannon is necessary when we have Ida, Ferguson, Barrett, and other Irish-born strikers to choose from? See, Joe? See, I listen. I hear you, pal. To be honest with you, Willie, we need as many players as we possibly can get. I'm not having a go. I'm not sticking the boot in. But when you don't have, although we have massive potential with the League of Ireland, but when you don't have a fully functioning, up and running League of Ireland, roaring at all cylinders and being what it could absolutely very much be, there's so much potential there. We need to get as many players in as we possibly can. And some people, I don't have an issue with players not born in Ireland. Some of our greatest moments, first ever World Cup goal by a Welshman, first ever tournament goal by a Scotsman, doesn't really bother me. I'm not saying that bothers you either, Willie. That's not the implication, but at the end of the day, we need as many players as we can. Darren, how you doing again? I don't think it's madness. We're never blessed enough to qualify again sometime. It's a great chance to see reserve keepers, young players, different styles, etc. He also would love to see a League of Ireland 11 versus Ireland. I don't think I would, because managed by Duff. Or actually, no, imagine managed by Stephen Kenny and he won.
Oh, God, wow, that'd be mad.
That'd be hilarious. Graham Farr 1-0 and 0-0. Christ, you're optimistic, ain't you? That is optimistic, Graham. How was every Ireland match last year? Raymond McInerney, we can get our tennis balls back. Give it another few months and we'll see. We'll see who we get in. David Corral, I mean, you said he's a sound man. Martin, he's the interim guy. Let's see, Let's see what we get with him. I'll give on and we'll give him the absolute benefit of the doubt. Irish Jedi. Notice numerous international managers don't seem to rate Manning like a pace or defensive qualities. I think they're very fair points there, Irish Jedi. He does have a distinct lack of pace, which is worrying for a wing back, because I thought that was kind of part of it. But yeah, he does. He likes an L shot from distance. He's a good player, but yeah, as a wing back, I do think his pace does let him down a bit. And I think that's one of the reasons managers, and you are right, they don't seem to really fancy him for whatever reason. Brandon Walsh, have a feeling Canning has only agreed to call it because his club career has stalled. We did call it earlier on. That's what people would think. And to be fair, I think he has a point. Raymond McInerney, best player that played at the Kennedy Cup. Is that for you, Martin? Don't know.
No.
What is the Kennedy Cup? That's schoolboy, is it?
I believe so. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry. We're based in England, Raymond. We do apologise. Irish Jedi, do you think the Euros is a higher standard than the World Cup when you look at the quality of each group? Yes, I do. Martin, would you agree?
I don't know, really. It's a really good question. You get some absolute really crap teams at the World Cup. So on that basis, I would say the Euros are stronger. But I think then you do have, Brazil, Argentina involved, and Mexico, and those teams are very difficult to beat. Uruguay, and then you got the African nations coming in, so it's very difficult. So yeah, it's a really good question.
Yeah, I think
who qualifies. I mean,
the Euros are always a higher standard for me. I think that it's just a much more. I think Euro 2000 for me, which is frustrating because Ireland, we're 13 seconds away from that, could have contributed to that tournament. Fantastic side we had there, and that continued on into qualifiers. But yeah, I think the Euros. I think I just think the Euros are just a higher standard. That's my opinion. Graham Farrell, conduct a poll. What would the polls care about Ireland? Well. I think they care very much, actually. Some of my best friends are Polish. Well, no, that's not true. I do have Polish friends. Kurt, again, at Kurt Highland, Preston fan. Imagine being my wife, my kids, my in-laws, my friends cheering on England and the unbelievable talent they have. What have I got to look forward to watching Love Island? Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, Martin, what's it going to be like supporting England all summer?
I do have a feeling they're going to win it, it's inevitable, isn't it? They're going to get across the line somewhere. I'm just hoping that still will happen. I think it's the keeper. I think that's where the weakness is still.
Yeah. No Henderson or whatever. I mean, what a team! Holy God, what a team!
I don't think the manager. I think as well, Southgate. I don't think he's.
No.
I know even living in England, people speculate and saying that they brought in I think I read it somewhere the other day. So you bring in Klopp, Why didn't they bring in Klopp, for example, and say, right, go on, go and win the Euros? But that's a big call, isn't it? But the top managers can get those results, can't they? And galvanise the squad. And I think Southgate, I think
Yeah,
he's a bit of a weak link.
fair enough. Dave McGuinness, well, he says Newton in. I'll take him at this stage. Raymond McInerney, he used to drink milk. Not sure who he's talking about there. P. Iron, this is on Robbie Keane. I'd rather shit in my hands and clap than take Keane back or take Keane. Greg Farrell, no, he's not experienced enough. This is on Robbie Keane, and not because of this bullshit argument about him taking blood money from Israel. Oh, controversial. Those are Graham's comments, not mine. I'm just saying.
So
Great
for one now as well. I think we better just, we don't have a production team.
We don't have a production team. I am the production team and the host, and I'm flying through these. But now, I mean, we are uncensored to a degree. James Talbot, his name is, and he's nowhere. I said Brian Talbot, didn't I? That's what Bill was giving out to him about. Sorry, guys. Brian Talbot, I don't know. I just make up names, to be fair. James Talbot, his name is, and he's nowhere near good enough to be near the Ireland squad. Dave McGuinness, regardless of Keane's potential as a manager, he has a lot of bridge building to do with Irish fans. He took 250,000 quid for several years of doing nothing when the FAI was in the balls of his arse financially. And he's going to continue that. We'll get back to that. And I do agree, actually, that for me, absolutely. He destroyed his legacy with that. Anything after that was just Darren. James Talbot, sorry, Darren. Yes, James Talbot, I do apologise. Was excellent before his injury. The excellence of elocution. Well, at least I said Brian correctly. Was excellent before his injury when he was in the last camp in Ireland. Did his shoulder in. Hasn't been the same since. He has since suffered mental health difficulties and is no longer. And I'm not sure what that means, but I didn't know that.
Number one.
Number one. Thank you. There you go. Sorry, guys. It's been a long L day. But no, I'm sorry to hear that actually about James Talbot, and hopefully he is feeling a lot better. Dave McGuinness about Robbie Keane again. He could have tore the contract up and free up that 250k for grassroots, etc. 100% agree with you there. He went to Israel and should have paid attention to the mood in the country. A lot of fans will never forgive him for that. That is also very true. He needs to go away for a couple of years somewhere else and then come back. Darren again, Irish Jedi, that's very true. Numerous managers have turned him down. This is on Ryan Manning. Strange one, that. As for Duffy, no excuses. Shouldn't have been included. An example should have been made. Yep, that's what we've said here. You cannot do what he's done. And then, Martin's had a fall. And now you're left with the sensible one of the podcast. We'll keep, while Martin picks his phone up. There we go. 90 degrees, Martin. There we go. We want Nuri to be happy now. Come on. So it's Keane another day after a period of bridge building, but not for now, says Dave McGuinness. Well, yes, keep going, doesn't he, really? Darren, Graham Farrell says to Darren, he's been replaced by a Polish lad, hasn't he? Graham Farrell, he has. He loves the Polish lads, Graham. John Muckian, very poor squad. I cancelled my season ticket this year. Very sorry to hear that, John. I do understand your frustration, but do try to keep the faith. I still have a season ticket, and I'm in the media section because you never know how long this is going to last. I would be going to the games regardless, and I still have a season ticket. And you understand, John. And listen, I'm not going to call. You've put the comment on there. I'm not going to dig anyone out for that because you might have other, people. I'm not saying yourself, but other people might have reasons for it financially. Because you know what? Life's getting harder, so that's a shame. But hopefully you'll get the faith back and you get behind the boys in green. Dave McGuinness. Oh, by the way, actually, Martin, I meant to say, in the description on the YouTube channel, we do have a link for the tickets. If you still want to go for the Hungary match, we do have a link in the tickets there for the ticket a link in the description for the tickets. It's easy for me to say. Jesus. Well, it is nearly midnight. We're going to try and wrap this up and get done by midnight. Dave McGuinness, Kenny Henning for game four without a win this week at Galway United. The FA, the fat MKS are very stuck for excuses. What does that mean? Fat MKS.
I don't know.
Right, you figured it out, Martin. They're not, I'll keep them busy. John Mucking, the FAI is a mess. Yes, it is. Graham Farrell. And by the way, there are still good people in the FAI trying to do their absolute best. But as we saw under the last CEO, that's quite difficult when you have, well, the last CEO. And we'll see what David Carell does. Jury is out, but we'll give him a chance. Graham Farrell, 14th of June, Friday the 14th. That's twice now, Dave.
Scotland's game. That's twice as well.
You said 15th.
I did.
Yeah. And I was squinting and I could see 14. And I listened to you. What an idiot. That's my fault for listening. Raymond McInerney, Brazil in 82. Okay. I presume their performance in World Cup 82. Trying to figure that one out. Darren again. Hi, Graham. Yes, he has been. He came from Cyprus, second league. He's been excellent. Both have a very good young Irish player called McManus. There we go. See, Aurora faithful chatting away to each other's.
I'll come in here if you don't mind. James McManus. Some of our newer listeners might be familiar with that I'm a club chairman of West London, and James McManus and his father are both long-time members of the club and also season ticket holders for the Ireland men's team, obviously. And yeah, good lad, and he's done very, very well. Came through, obviously underage, St Kevin's, and yeah, he's done really, really well. So very proud of him within the club, and a lot of speculation that he will be making a move to England at some stage.
Oh, and I don't think Darren wants to hear that, Martin, to be fair. But there you go. Michelle, do you think Travis will get a game this window, lads? I don't think so. No, I think it'll be Gallagher for both of them. What do you reckon, Martin?
Yeah, I think he'll get both games.
He wants to win. He wants to win with this. I don't think he's going to experiment. I think, as Martin says, on a Brian substitution, he's going to go with his most experienced team and get a win here. Darren again.
So,
yeah. Darren again. Instead of having someone like Harrington, O'Shea should have included Mason Mealy. I'll say Pats. Joe says it's Morsheen, not Martin. Morsheen. Graham Farrell. From what I've seen against us last Friday, he looked okay. That Latoba seems like a space. Ooh. we won't read that one out. I'm going to stop reading out those comments. Dave McGuinness, you give John O'Shea free pass for the Belgian and Swiss games. No manager would have been able to inflict instant change. The 3 years of being stuck in a shite system, so no point barking at John O'Shea. Any manager would take time to inflict their way of doing things. I'd take John O'Shea more than one window to change things. Yeah, and any manager, to be fair, Dave, any manager. And I always remember the whole stand thing of, hammering Sweden, which if you look back again, it wasn't actually wasn't a great performance. And we're very lucky in that game. And, we all thought, here we go. It's fantastic. Especially Niall Quinn thought it's the second coming. And it was dreadful after that, wasn't it? Yeah, we have to do an episode on that, Martin. Niall Quinn on the 3-0 win. But yeah, we do agree. You give John O'Shea a free pass. Irish Jedi, do you think the FPL will get much backlash to the appointment of O'Shea in July, or has so much time passed since their process began that people have forgotten the deadlines they set? To be honest with you, I think no. I would take O'Shea at this stage. I just want somebody to get stuck in with the lads, impart their message, impart their vision, and just get us on a path and moving forward. What do you say, Martin?
I think, yeah, the process has obviously failed. I can see O'Shea getting it, but I think they might try and be clever and settle in a CEO as well, because you have to remember Jonathan Hill was part of this group who was appointing the new manager or putting it to the board. And I just think there's so much else wrong in the AI.
Yeah, but so is Packy Bonner and so is Mark Hannum, and they're both still there.
Yeah, but that's just how the structure of we've had to do, because the phase is for so long.
We can't blame everything on Jonathan Hill, though. That's what I'm saying. I'll take your point.
Carell's coming there now, and I've often said it's a big leap of faith on Mark Cannon. Wasn't stopping him move away or anything like that. Whereas I do feel reassured that John O'Shea, can't be kind of questioned on his commitment to Ireland over the years, over 100 caps. All right, no real managerial experience, but that is the fact of it, is we have no money to attract a kind of high caliber manager at this time. Yeah. And I know that Dave McGuinness is a fan there of Chris Hughton. He would have been one I wouldn't have had a problem.
And Stephen Kenny.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and Stephen Kenny. Dave McGuinness is also, like Martin, he is actually in charge of the Stephen Kenny fan club, as we can see here. If Kenny managed a League of Ireland 11 against the Republic of Ireland 11, or if he managed a Republic of Ireland against the League of Ireland 11, Kenny loses every time with his poxy wing backs. Jesus. Ray McInerney, Kennedy Cup, Damien Duff, best player to play in the Kennedy Cup. I will bow to your knowledge there, Raymond. And sorry for our ignorance, but there's only so much we can cover, I'm afraid. Joe says, will all 5 strikers get a minute? And if not, should the not quite fit match fit Conley have been included more with the view to his long-term future, having just been released from his best season to date? Yeah, to be honest with you, look, I know people will say about Aaron Conley, oh my God, he got released by Hull. Oh, and, Ross Senior, he was he was fired by they are a basket case, Hull, and they are a basket case. He basically bought a brand new team for him, and he got him 7th, one place outside of the top 6, in terms of the playoffs, and he fired him. And there's a documentary there, HITC Sevens. I don't know how is it Hitch Sevens? I don't know what way you pronounce it, but he's actually a Hull City fan. And he did a great documentary and explains the whole thing. It's like, sorry, but we need to talk about Hull, and the whole thing's a basket case. So I do feel bad for Aaron Connolly, and yeah, I think this is where, why not bring him in? Say, listen, you've had a good season, your best season to date as a professional footballer, as Joe has rightly said there. Why not bring him in? Arm around the shoulder, you're still included. Hopefully, or maybe it is because he needs to find another club. That's why he's maybe not involved. And but if he wants to put himself in the shop window, this would be a great chance. That's my opinion, anyway. Darren does explain what the Kenny Cup is. It's an underage tournament where every top league of each jurisdiction has a team made of the best players in their league, and they put a full tournament football. I think it's under 13s. Thank you very much, Darren. No, you see, we don't claim, Martin, to know everything about football.
I do actually know the Kennedy Cup. Sorry, I think St. Kevin's boys have been that.
Bit late now, mate. It's a bit late now.
You have other international kind of invitations to it, I think. And then there's the famous one up in Northern Ireland, isn't there?
Milk Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, Man United go over to that a lot as well.
Yeah, Milk Cup. Yeah, it's a Milk Cup over there, isn't it? That's what they call it, and all that.
Not to go off on a tangent about anything, but like St. Kevin's boys send over teams to Man United, to Carrington, to play Man United's underage teams on a regular basis. So there is that link up there with these clubs to kind of give them opportunities and experiences and stuff. So, but we are reliant on a lot of volunteers and grassroots to get that all in place and keep doing what they've been doing. And I think I'm a firm believer of, that a good player will find a way.
They'll find a Yeah. No, that's fair. Moving on, P Ireland. Before they extended the Euros, it was a way higher standard than the World Cup. That is actually very true. Do you know what? I forgot about that they extended it to what's it now? It's 24 teams. Remember, it used to just be 8. Ireland, our first appearance at a major tournament, Euro 88, it's just the top 8 teams in arguably the world. And we were, 8 minutes from a semi-final place until Wim Keefe got an offside goal. But yeah, and then it was 8 for Euro 92, then it was 16 for Euro 96, and then he made it 24. And yeah, I do think it's diluted it. I totally forgot about that, P Ireland. And yeah, I agree with you. It has diluted it. Dave McGuinness has now moved over to YouTube. We would have won Euro 92 if we qualified, and we would have got at least last 4 in Euro 2000. Yeah, I don't think they're bad shouts. Definitely Euro 92. That was unbeaten, scored the most goals, threw away the win in Wembley, threw away a 3-1 lead in Poznan. Jesus, I remember watching that. It was the only time with 3-1 up against Poland. It's the time I really saw my granddad lose the rag over football. Like, stupid. But anyway, and Euro 2000, yeah, we had a really good team then. Really good team. Irwin was still, top of his game. You had Roy Keane, top of his game. Given, Kelly, Alan Kelly, Dean Kiley as well. Really good side. Jimmy Shell, would you go Italian again, guys? Seen the last weekend, Claudio Ranieri retired at club level, but Hardy to stay involved in football if an international job came around. To be honest with you, no, Jimmy. I know he's very nicely He's a nice guy. Never met him. Never had a pleasure. Won the Premier League, but he is a bit of a basket case. It'd be entertaining, and I'm sure we'd love him. But I think it'd be the same. It'd go down the same way with Trapattoni. I started off great, and then it was just the wheels would come flying apart. But probably happen a lot quicker. Martin, what do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I'm not intending that at all. There you go. No
There you
other
go.
explanation.
No, Martin wants to go to bed. That's what it is. Irish Jedi. Hypothetical question. Would you take England winning the next World Cup if it meant Ireland qualified and you got to travel to America? Personally, I would. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't need to ask you that, Martin, do I? I mean, I look, I live in England, Martin. I both live in England, and it doesn't really bother me if England do win it. Or whatever. I just want Ireland to do well. But that's gonna be interesting. To see as the tournament goes.
The England-Ireland rivalry means more to us than it does to England. I know we had the game where they beat us in lockdown, didn't they, recently?
It didn't really matter, did it?
But and that was a proud record, though. I think back to '84, was it? That they hadn't beaten us.
85,
yeah. And but I think they've evolved so much as a footballing nation now that it's not really
no
competition at the moment, sadly. And I want us to get to a World Cup or Euros and stuff and see us competing at that highest level again. And it wouldn't matter to me if they won it, to be honest.
No, not.
And the other thing I'd say about it is whatever England do in football in terms grassroots and stuff, we always kind of tag on to the end of it in a sense. So I think a lot of our kids watching football in Ireland will be watching English football clubs. We'll be seeing, there's no doubt, I'm sure in the summer I want to go to Ireland, I'll be seeing English players' names on the back of club shirts that lads are supporting in Ireland. And they're going to be players that are going to inspire them to obviously play football in Ireland. So, and the improvements in everything kind of does filter through from the club structure and stuff. So I don't really have a problem with it, to be honest.
No, and I'm actually looking forward to the Euros because if deeper they go in the comment, people want to moan about them, and that's what we're here for, folks. We might do a few live episodes during the Euros, Martin. Get that poison spewing.
Well, if people, I don't know if you've got it to hand, but if you do want to contact us about the show, and thanks again for many of the new listeners and viewers tonight. But we do have an email address to contact us. So give us any ideas, anything people want to chat to, tell us your good stories from all the trips and stuff you might have been on, or a particular funny story that you want us to read out. Happy to do so. I do have a little bit of news, obviously, on ticketing for those traveling over to Portugal, Dave, while you're struggling to do some production in the background, is that they are going to be electronic tickets for Portugal away, and we're only going to get them 3 or 4 days before the game.
Jesus.
Quite late.
Struggle with the paper ones.
We have had problems before with games recently with Ireland fans attending, and being, that's something hopefully the UEFA and the host association will sort out, so there's no problems. And obviously wishing everyone a safe trip going over there supporting Ireland.
Absolutely. We're back in the APOP, aren't we, in Athens, where all the damage, all that was done. But yeah, as Martin said, here is the email address, pod@lansdowneroar.ie. Anything you want us to talk about, you want to tell us a story, your first Ireland game, something you want to share with us, special moment. If you want us to talk about it on the podcast and mention it, we will absolutely happily do that on the next episode of Lansdowne Roar. We are for the fans, by the fans, by the fans, for the fans. I can't even read my own fucking low slogan. One of those anyway. They both mean the same bloody thing anyway. And yeah, just contact us there, pod@lansdowneroar.ie, and we'll read it out. We're going to wrap up these comments because Martin needs to go to bed. You didn't tell your missus that you'd be back in a couple of minutes, did you?
So it'll be about an hour.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But she's probably grateful I'm not in the bar, so that's quite good.
Fair enough. She's probably watching now. Sorry, Mrs. Prendergast, if you are. Right, let's quickly on this one. Michael Loomis, who would you like to see take the job from the top 5 bookies candidate? Lee Carsley for me, because he's still in the top 5. Lee Carsley, according to Paddy Powers, is number 5 at 10-1. What about you, Martin? Sagnall, O'Shea, Chris Hughton, Steve Bruce, or Carsley?
I'd have no problem with Newton, John O'Shea, and the more I think it'd be a good crack for Big Sam.
Anyway, right.
Just for stuff that
Martin
currently.
just wants Big Sam. Martin just wants Big Sam.
I just think it'd be a lot of fun. I think he's a bit of a lunatic, and obviously a few links with Irish football over the years.
Oh yeah,
So
Limerick FC. Like it was
I
Limerick
think we
FC, was
inspire our
or
players to do
Limerick.
well. But like, I'm not a massive fan of his football style. But I think if like say Newton wasn't coming in to kind of put that in place to kind of keep us competitive, which I think we need to be in the next campaign, of course.
Yeah,
Uh, and you're not going to give O'Shea lots of time, which I think we need. I think Big Sam would get results.
Big Sam. Jesus. Ryan McInerney says on the Kennedy Cup, the early FA Cup drinking milk. Oh, that's the one up in Northern Ireland. No cup. Darren expands on the Robbie Keane the thing with the contract, the 250 grand that he took. To be honest, if your place offered you 250k to do nothing, would you take it, or be sound and be like, nah? 99% of people would take it. Yeah, and I know what you're saying there, Darren, but also not when now. And I did say during that time that look, if there's any financial reason he needs to take the money, if he needs the money, then, go for it. But not if you're a multimillionaire, you don't need the money, then. He's clearly damaged his reputation. That's before the whole Israel thing happened, by the way. And yeah, I know if I was in his situation and the FAI were up shit creek, and they were at the time, I would have said, you know what, I'm not happy about this, but here's the money back. I think it would have been priceless for his reputation. And
exactly, 99% of people aren't millionaires like he is. So that's the whole factor for me. And contractually, fully permitted to do so, and serve the FAA right, but it's not it's not in tune with a lot of the feeling of Irish fans with that.
No,
who know we're absolutely skin and we're taking
yeah.
money out of the association. So
his most famous moment in the Irish show was against Germany in Japan. Irish fans spent an absolute fortune going over there. Martin, you're one of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I just think it was bad for him. Graham Farrell, Dave McGuinness makes a fair point about him sitting on his contract. That was poor form by Robbie Keane. Dave McGuinness on James Talbot took a break from football recently due to mental health issues. He is an outstanding keeper, and I wish him well on the pathway back. Was superb in League of Ireland in recent years. Well said. B. Ireland, is Martin okay after his fall? And Graham wants to know, are you on the beer, Martin?
I had a couple with dinner, and I seriously did.
Yeah, I bet you did. Stephen O'Rourke, up the lads in green. That's the spirit, Stephen O'Rourke. Dave McGuinness, fat MKs, foam at the mouth, Kennyites. That's fair enough. Greg Farrell, Irish Jedi. Oh, they're having a. Oh, hold on. This is actually about England. Irish Jedi, hell to the no. I don't even want England getting a point. Not even a point. I remember when Italy beat them on penalties where I live in Edinburgh. It was in party mode. It was absolutely brilliant. That's fair. Nurik says we already did an On This Day episode on Stan's first game versus Sweden. Yeah, we want to do another one, Yuri. We want to do it better. And we will actually be doing a retro series. We are bringing that back. Just need to see what way we want to do it, really. It's great for all the FEI seem to forget this is the last window before the Nations League and where things get competitive, and we've had a tough group as well, for fuck's sakes. So while I'm not mad on O'Shea getting it, it continues on. What's the point in giving it to someone else after him getting the warm-ups? The lad that runs Hull bought shells. I'm not sure if he's still there. Hope he is, though. He'll ruin them. Much to the delight of Graham. Last few comments here, guys, and we're going to go. It's been a bumper episode. Joe says, who would you like to see start up front against Hungary, and who do you think O'Shea will go with?
Ida.
Yeah, he's on. Yeah, he spoke about him, didn't he? He's on cracking form, but he said he hoped to calm down and focus. He'll go with Ida. Up front as a lone striker. What did he do last time? He played two behind the front one, did he?
Smolix will go in there, I think.
Smolix and Parrott behind Ida?
Maybe, yeah.
That's what I'd like to see, actually. Why not? The three lads are an absolute fire at the moment. Obafemi will come in, but he's had a bit of a tough time at Millwall. But yeah, I think it was, Ida spearheading, Smonix and Parrott behind them. Parrott has a really good season at. They're playing tonight, actually, Excelsior. I think they lost. I think we're down to 9 men. I think they're in the playoff. Because they're going to get relegated to the whatever the second division is, or anyway. Graham Farrell, that Macedonia away game was heartbreaking. 92nd minute in Skopje put us in the playoffs, and then the rumble in Izmir. Yes. Ed M, how you doing, Ed? Over on YouTube. Got a test right on West Ham in for Sadie Smollix. And also says, wouldn't mind Tony Mowbray as manager. He does have a health issue at the moment, Tony Mowbray. We do wish him the best. He was at Birmingham, wasn't he? And Birmingham, sacked by Blackburn at Birmingham when he had to resign, unfortunately, due to health issue. And the last comment of the night, guys. Jimmy Shell, Big Sam, Robbie Keane, Gio. Didn't change it all the leads last season, but both went off with huge pay packets to do it. There you go, Martin. Have some of that. Anyway. Wow. 1 hour, 40 minutes. Guys, thank you so much. You know what someone said to me before? And I hope you're watching, by the way. They said to me, are you mad? Doing a live episode at 10:30 at night. Who's going to watch that? That's pretty much what he said. In fact, this has been our highest viewed live episode we've ever done. So I would just want to say a massive thank you to Aurora faithful for coming on here. And I know we were away for a little bit. I'm sorry about that, for a couple of weeks, but we're back now. We're back full time. We're going to have multiple episodes per week. We're going to be over in Portugal. We're going to be in Dublin. We're going to be all over the place. Anyway, we're going to be live. We're bringing it back, and we're going to be, obviously after that, we're going to be covering the Euro. So we are back, Jack, as Hulk Hogan would say, Martin. And yeah. It's cringe, isn't it? But yeah, listen, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you guys. And yeah, it'd be nothing without you guys. Nothing at all. And thank you to the new listeners. This is a lovely comment there. Jimmy Shell, have a good week, lads. Great to have you back. Shunik Roy, thank you both. I'm always looking forward to this show. Thank you very much. And you know what? We really love doing it. We really do. Real life sometimes just gets in the way. So we are going to be back for the international window. We're going to might have an episode Wednesday, maybe Friday, Martin, and then we're going to be in the full swing of it, aren't we? We're going to be over at the games. Anyway, I'm going to have Connor with me in the stadium. I hope. Connor McAvoy of Republic of Ireland Tracker. So give him a follow over on Twitter. He does some great work, actually. Connor McAvoy over there, and of course Bill, who's a bit annoyed with me because I got the goalkeeper name wrong. I just annoyed me anyway because he's angry. Over Irish Football Blog. Right, we're going to leave it there. We really appreciate it, guys. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel. If you could hit a subscribe here, scan that QR code on the video, or just head over to our link tree and you can check out our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. And yeah, if you want to give us a cheeky little email, or just actually if you want to contact us, any feedback for the show, anything you'd like to see us do, anything you'd like to see us get rid of, or just tell us a story. Tell us about your first game, your last game, why you go, why you don't go anymore, over at pod@lansdowneroar.ie. Anyway, we're going to leave you to it. Excuse me. Sorry. We love you very, very much, and we will be back during the week, so just check out the socials. I'm David Dunn. He is Martin Prendergast. And we are out of here. Good night, and God bless. And come on, you boys in green.